Imagine, for a moment, the world without cities. No towering skyscrapers, no bustling streets, no vast networks of trade and communication. It's almost impossible, right? Yet, just over 6,000 years ago, that was the reality. Then, something incredible happened. Beneath the scorching sun of modern-day Uruk, in the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the very first cities on Earth rose from the dust. This is the story of their creators, the Sumerians. Today, we journey back to the dawn of civilization. We're going deep into the ancient past to uncover how a mysterious people invented not just cities, but the very building blocks of our modern world. Writing, mathematics, laws, even the 60-second minute and the 60-minute hour, it all began here in Sumer. From humble farming villages, they engineered architectural marvels, great urban centers like Uruk, and Lagash. These weren't just settlements, they were thriving hubs of power, belief, and breathtaking innovation. Home to tens of thousands of people at a time when the global population was a tiny fraction of what it is today. But who were the Sumerians? That's one of history's greatest puzzles. They seem to appear in the archaeological record almost out of nowhere, arriving with a sophisticated culture and knowledge that seems fully formed. Their language was unlike any other in the region, and their origins remain a topic of intense debate among scholars. Were they indigenous people who made a sudden leap forward, or migrants who brought their advanced culture with them? The truth is, we don't know for sure. It's a mystery that adds to their incredible legacy. What we do have are their own words, etched into clay tablets that have survived for millennia. These tablets are our window into their world. They tell us stories of powerful gods and goddesses who controlled every aspect of life, from the harvest to the flooding of the rivers. They record the epic adventures of legendary kings like Gilgamesh, a hero on a quest for immortality who grappled with love, loss, and the very meaning of being human. Through their myths, proverbs, and legal codes, we can glimpse a society wrestling with the same fundamental questions we still ask ourselves today. They worried about fate, justice, and the delicate, often terrifying balance between the forces of nature and the cities they had built to defy it. The Sumerians were brilliant innovators. To manage their complex society, they developed cuneiform, the world's first known writing system. It started as simple pictographs to track goods like grain and livestock, but it evolved into a sophisticated script capable of recording literature, history, and scientific observation. Think about that. For the first time in human history, knowledge could be passed down not just through memory and speech, but through a permanent, physical record. It was a revolution that changed everything. Their ingenuity didn't stop there. They were master astronomers, mapping the stars and creating the zodiac. They developed complex mathematics based on the number 60 system we still use every day when we tell time or measure angles in a circle. They were also skilled engineers building massive ziggurats, step pyramids that reached toward the heavens, serving as temples to their gods and administrative centers for their cities. These structures dominated the flat landscape, visible for miles around, a powerful symbol of human achievement and ambition. They also created intricate canal systems to irrigate their fields, turning a harsh, arid environment into a breadbasket that could support their growing urban populations. Life in a Sumerian city like Uruk, perhaps the world's first true metropolis, would have been a vibrant, noisy, and overwhelming experience for anyone from the outside. You'd see merchants from distant lands trading timber, metals, and precious stones. You'd hear the sounds of artisans crafting pottery, textiles, and intricate jewelry. You'd see scribes meticulously recording transactions on wet clay tablets, and priests leading processions to the great temple. This was city life, invented from scratch. They established the first formal legal systems like the Code of Urnamu, which predates the famous Code of Hammurabi by centuries. It laid out laws for everything from property disputes to personal injury, establishing a sense of order and justice in a complex urban society. But this golden age could not last forever. For all their brilliance and innovation, the Sumerians were vulnerable. The very environment that gave them life eventually turned against them. Centuries of intensive irrigation led to a buildup of salt in the soil, slowly poisoning the fertile land that fed their cities. Crop yields began to decline, leading to famine and social unrest. Imagine watching the source of your prosperity, the very foundation of your civilization, slowly dying before your eyes. At the same time, the political landscape was fragmenting. The Sumerian city-states were in constant competition with each other, frequently warring over land, water rights, and political dominance. These internal conflicts drained their resources and weakened them, making them vulnerable to external threats. The rivers themselves, the Tigris and Euphrates, were unpredictable. Their courses could shift, leaving a once thriving city stranded far from its vital water source. The archaeological record shows evidence of cities being abandoned, their populations moving elsewhere in search of survival. Slowly, inexorably, the world of the Sumerians began to unravel. New groups, like the Akkadians and later the Babylonians, rose to power, conquering the old Sumerian cities and absorbing their culture. The Sumerian language, once the language of kings and scholars, faded from daily use, eventually becoming a dead language known only to a handful of priests and scribes. Much like Latin in the Middle Ages, the great cities of Uruk, and Lagash fell into ruin, their towering ziggurats crumbling, their bustling streets buried by layers of sand and silt. And so, the world's first civilization fell into silence. For thousands of years, their story was lost to history. Their achievements were forgotten, their existence known only through vague references in later texts like the Bible. It wasn't until the 19th century that archaeologists began excavating the mysterious mounds in the Iraqi desert and rediscovered the lost world of Sumer. Tablet by tablet, artifact by artifact, they pieced together the story of this incredible civilization that laid the foundation for everything that followed. The fall of Sumer is a powerful and humbling reminder. It shows us that no civilization, no matter how advanced or powerful, is permanent. It teaches us about the fragile relationship between humanity and the environment, and how quickly the balance can be tipped. The challenges they faced, environmental degradation, resource competition, and social conflict, are challenges we still grapple with today. Their legacy, however, is immortal. Every time we write a sentence, check the time, or live in a city, we are touching a piece of the world the Sumerians created. They were the pioneers, the first to dare to build something larger than themselves. Their cities may have turned to dust, but their ideas shaped the entire course of human history and continue to resonate in our world today. They were the beginning of our story. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey back to the dawn of civilization. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments what ancient civilization you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next one.